Welcome to episode 242 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Walton. As always, I'm joined by my other host, Dan Reamer.
Dan Reamer. Not Ryan Walton, Dan Reamer.
Yep, there's two. It's two of us.
There's two.
I know our voices are very similar.
Yes, we speak in similar intonations.
Almost identical.
You can't tell the difference.
But there are two of us.
Or dos, for some of you Spanish speakers out there.
Ooh, for our Latin community. I like that.
Yeah. I'm inclusive, if nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about bringing everybody in.
For our French community, it's deux. For our Japanese community, it's ni.
I don't know the stats. I bet we also don't have a Japanese community.
I agree with that. I would bet you're probably right. If I was a betting
I'm going to say a little bit in the EU, but mostly North America.
Well, we might have a small French community then. Maybe a community of one, which, by the way, sounds like a phenomenal movie.
Community of one. It sounds like some shitty direct-to-DVD movie.
I would watch the hell out of that. I love those.
Like John Cena in Community of One.
I've been on a mission, by the way, since you're talking about that. I have been, as I'm going around to like FYEs or Best Buys, Walmarts, wherever, I am on a mission to start collecting up all of my favorite cult movies from the 80s.
Reliving that again?
Oh, I also get them on Shout Factory, Amazon.
Shout Factory is on Twitch streaming a bunch of nonsense right now.
Starcade.
Yeah. I saw it up there the other day.
From the 90s.
The Rocket League Championship Series is going right now.
Mm-hmm.
RLCS. And so I've been on Twitch for like 8 hours straight just watching people who are better than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, they've taken Rocket League to a level that is now, when I used to watch, I was like, I could get good enough. No.
Now you're like, nothing ain't happening.
So they're using the ceiling. This is the new thing. They're using the ceiling like the fourth wall. So they'll hit the ball, fly up, touch tires on the ceiling, and then come back down because then they'll reset their flip.
Oh. It's
insane. People are like shooting off the ceiling upside down. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah, I got no time for that.
When I watch them fly, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And as the different styles for the different regions emerge, like North America plays the aerial game, and Europe mostly plays more of a ground game.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty typical for most. Yeah. Like, they do that in regular soccer, too. That's the style.
North America, strategy used to be just knock it up in the air, and everybody will fly up and somebody will hit it. And now it's much more delicate. There's passes, aerial passes, things like that. But they're still mostly aerial where, Europe's trying to get the ball controlled on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going up for backboard shots and things like that. But they still much more of a ground game. They play today, the day we're recording, not the day you're listening. And so I'm excited to watch and see the different styles that emerge for them. Because yesterday everything was North America.
Right.
And there's some shit, let me just tell you. There was some shit yesterday. Even some people Lachinio used to play. This is deep esports for people who don't love Rocket League. I'm sorry. He used to play on iBuy Power with Kronovi. Most people know who he is that follow Rocket League. The guy is basically like just a human highlight reel all the time. Like, everything he does is amazing, but it causes him to lose a lot.
It looks
because he goes for those moments.
He's more of a showboater.
Yeah, so he's been out of the game for a little while. I'm sure he's been playing, but he's been out of the competitive scene. Well, he's back at his new team. And so there's a new guy on the scene, I say he's relatively new, Squishy, who's like gangster as fuck and destroying everybody. This guy is who grinded with him when he was coming up, that's on the team with this guy that's a showboat. So the two of them together are insane to watch, but they're probably going to blow up at some point,
right?
And lose. And they've dramatically changed how Rocket League competitive works now. There's the Rocket League Rival Series, so you have to qualify for that, and then the next season you have a chance to qualify for the RLCS.
Gotcha. So there's qualifying rounds now.
Yeah, it needed to be. It's going to keep the top people up top, so you can watch those.
And it's getting bigger and growing. There's more people involved in that on that level, so they need some sort of system.
The cool thing about Rocket League, when you look at some of these other things like Dota and League, like anybody can play. It's just open.
Right.
They had 5,300 teams, I think, this season apply. which is insane. Yeah,
that's a lot.
And
if you figure
their esports is that's so legit though.
That's like 1,600 people.
No, it's more than that. 300 teams with 3-man teams.
Yeah, so 5,300 times 3.
Yeah, you said 1,500.
I meant 15,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I meant
But their esports is legit. Like, they have like a super nice studio. They've got analyst desks. They've got the play-by-play people. Like, you can tell Sonics has dumped a ton of money into making esports work. They had the NBC tournament that was on NBCSN.
Yeah.
And yesterday on Twitch, they had about 70,000 people all day long watching.
That's crazy.
It's a big deal, and it's just on a new level. But I love watching those guys play. And I say guys, but they're like kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
One of the new team, Fabian, I think it's got like 2 16-year-olds on it.
Wow.
Shit's crazy. They're like, what, sophomores?
Go, guys. You go.
They're not even juniors yet? Like, what? How does that even work?
Does that bother you?
Only because I wish this had been more of a thing when I was younger.
When you were a kid. Hey, that's how it goes. I mean,
all of it. Like streaming and just, even just the way that you can connect with other people and podcast and all that stuff.
I mean, I get that, but that's the way of the world. That's the way of getting old. There's no way around that. There's people that were, playing sports when, like my dad's age, playing sports. He wished they had all the different soccer leagues.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was really good to start with, but he had fall soccer. That was what they played. And then they got together and kicked around in the summer.
Yeah, it sucks, though. Because I would like to do that instead of my job.
I'd like to, actually, I wouldn't, because then that will become a job. And I don't know that it'd be fun anymore.
I've played a lot of Rocket League. I can't imagine I could play more Rocket League and not like it. I do think, though, that...
Yeah, but you're also playing it on your terms.
Yeah, I don't know if I would like... I don't mind... If someone said, hey, we got to play Rocket League all day tomorrow, I'm like, oh, okay. But when you're going in practices, things like that, and working on things
and it's
like
not
that...
it's not necessarily fun at that point. Now it's work.
Because I'll jump in training, I'll work on some sort of skill, but I'm not in there with 2 other people for hours on hours, running through plays and things like that.
Right.
That might be a little draining.
That's the difference.
Being a streamer is pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
It's a pretty legit job. Long hours, but I mean, if you're going to put in the hours either way, at least you're playing video games.
Speaking of streaming, it's September. What does that mean?
It means we're going to stream.
It means we're going to be streaming. By the way,
we're going to stream hard.
Yep. Our good friend Garrett Wade actually asked us a question about the streaming this week. He asked if we're going to be streaming on weekends at all. The answer, Garrett, is you bet your sweet ass.
We're going to be streaming all different times, and I can't imagine that wouldn't at some point fall on a weekend.
Me either.
And
Garrett, to be honest, I can't actually guarantee that you won't be included in that stream somehow, depending on what we're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have a community that doesn't all work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, so we're going to stream at different times and try to, be there for our community. I mean, we're doing it for you guys. So if you need us to stream on a weekend, then we'll try to find a way to stream on a weekend and make sure that we're there. But yeah, we're going to stream all different times. We're going to see how this works.
I can't see that a weekend wouldn't be involved in that somehow, though.
Right. So it's not always going to be a weekend. It's not always going to be a Monday or a Thursday or a Saturday or a Friday. It's going to be random. We're saying a minimum of 1 per month, but I think you'll see more than that, no problem. And I don't even know how it's going to work yet. We're just going to pick a game. We're going to stream it. And if you guys are there to chat with us, great. If not, we're going to move. That content will be available after the fact on YouTube. And you can watch us play a game.
Yeah. Whatever game it may be.
It's exciting stuff. I will stream the week that this podcast comes out. So I can let you guys know that. The rest, you can watch our Twitter for it. Watch our Twitter for specifics on when I'm going to stream at _Stitch, but I will stream this week coming up. Maybe today. Maybe the day I'm recording this. Who the fuck knows?
It's very important to keep in mind that if you've been with us for any amount of time and listened to us for any amount of time, you know that when it comes to planning, we're not always aces. So I would keep an eye on the Twitter and look for those notifications that say, hey, we're streaming. because that might be the extent of the planning that was involved in that.
Yeah, there's most times there won't be any heads up, any announcements until, hopefully 30 minutes to an hour before we actually stream. But I'm giving you the one heads up for the very first stream that I will stream sometime this week.
And
who knows?
The good thing about that is like a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
So,
and you might even stream before I stream. Who knows? It's chaos.
It is. It's anarchy.
Yep. Follow us on Twitter to find out that information. And like I said, if you miss it, it doesn't allow you to interact with us after the fact, but you can watch on YouTube if you want to just see us play a game.
Something I've talked. I don't actually know if I've talked too much with Ryan about it, but I am considering setting up an Instagram account for us as well.
I think we have one.
Did we set one up? I couldn't remember if it was that or Snapchat.
No, I think we had one.
But I don't want to do Snapchat because that disappears after 8 seconds, and I like my mistakes to last forever for others to learn from.
Yeah, we have one. We just don't use it.
Oh, well, we probably need to start that. That seems to be the new
announcement. We have an Instagram. I believe it's just Gamestitch.
I believe so too. I probably will need the login details. I'm pretty sure I don't remember those.
I'm pretty sure I don't either.
I think Matt set one up for.
We used it when we went to Comic-Con.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Pretty sure I don't have the info either.
Well, we may need to set up we'll
password restore it.
Figure it out.
This is some behind the scenes stuff right now.
How hard can it be?
I think everything's linked to my email, so it's not a big deal. I'll just reset it.
Cool.
I'm not going to use that either, for everybody wondering. That's more social media that I'm not going to use. But I'm going to fucking stream, though.
He'll probably do more streaming than me, and I will try to be. This week, I just have to tell everyone really quick, this week has been a very off/off-putting week for me. I have not had a chance to play. Tuesday was the last time I played anything. Before that, my in-laws were in town and staying with us. They left on Thursday. Well, on that Tuesday before, my brother came into town and his girlfriend from Georgia. So I have been busy doing family things. I want to kill myself. I want the world to end because of it. But today's it. Today's the last day. Keep in mind, we may be going a little shorter today in our recording because I do have a brunch I have to make. So don't be alarmed. It's not because we suck. It's not anything like that. Well, we do suck, but you know what I mean. It's not on purpose. It's a one-off thing that may happen. So keep that in mind. But so that's been my week. Is I did get drunk. I did drink a lot this week. I should say that. And actually, I don't know for sure, but I feel like if I go to a bar I was in, a bar and grill, if I go there too soon, they'll tell me to leave.
Did you get tossed out of a place?
I didn't get tossed out, but I upset some diners, apparently. I was a little inebriated. There was like 12 of us at a table.
Right, too many people already.
Yeah, plus there's a whole bunch. It's still in a dining room. And But anyway, I'm discussing with someone across from me and some different people. We're talking about what can we watch on Netflix. Just, casual adult conversation.
Right.
So we're talking about different things, and I mentioned a show on Netflix called Atypical, and I was like, I've never heard of that. Well, it's about did I talk about it on here?
I don't think so.
It's about a kid who's on the autism spectrum who is 17, 18 years old, and he's starting to be interested in girls and wants to have sex. So that's, in a nutshell, that's the show. There's more to it, obviously. But I quoted a line from it, and apparently I said it louder than I intended.
Mm-hmm.
And that line was, this is where the problem is. It's not so much the loudness, it was what the line was.
I'll tell you if it's offensive or not.
Okay, the line was, I just got a hand job in an igloo.
I mean, a lot of questions come up. More questions than answers. I don't know if that's offensive, though. A handsy's never offensive to me.
I understand that.
That's like the lightest sexual content that you could be describing, as a hand job.
But if you look at it in context, it's a big deal for a kid on the autism spectrum. I was very happy for him.
Yeah, it is, but if I heard someone, like if I was at Starbucks and someone's like, I got a handy, I'd be like, okay. Like, that's not offensive. Like, there are a lot more offensive things you could say.
Oh, I understand that.
And I'm like, where did you find an igloo? That's my first question.
But it's in the context of the show. It makes perfect sense. But.
Right, but that's my first question. If I heard someone say that, I'm like, where's an igloo around here?
So that's so. Apparently, I was louder when I said that than I intended.
Did they complain that you said something about a hand job?
My wife did, and other people have commented on it to me, and people that weren't there, that like are involved with the family, are like, I heard you got a little loud last night. So it was apparently loud enough for someone to have said something or take notice or something. So
what's the world coming to where you can't talk about hand jobs?
It's fucking
sad place. Well, I made up for you this week, and I played way too much. I got a real problem going right now with a lot of good games.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. This is like March for me. Like, it's just too fucking much right now. I'm an overload of good games. So, I still want to play Fortnite. Sorry, Garrett. We got to get back into that.
We do have to get back into that. To be fair, Garrett, I did tell you it was about 90-10 against earlier this week.
I planned on playing. I had like the worst headache ever last night. I didn't play anything. Went to bed. So I still got Fortnite I want to play. I'm still playing Sonic Mania. Still got to do the DLC for Zelda. I'm playing the shit out of Mario plus Rabbids. That game is awesome. I didn't know if I'd like it because everyone's like, oh, it's like XCOM, and I didn't really love XCOM. It's very simple. It's easy to get into. It's almost a puzzle game. It's almost like a tactics puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really neat. Like, it's cool to see the Mario characters that way. It's cool to see Ubisoft take on Mario, and I can't believe someone pitched this idea and someone said, yeah, let's go for it. I can't believe they approved it along the way. I can't believe this even exists, and it's really good. And the only thing I'll say about it, if you have a Switch and you buy it, play it in small doses. I think if you play 4 hours of this game, you're going to get burnt out. It's great to jump on and play for 30, 45 minutes. Maybe play later that night, maybe play the next day, something like that. I've been playing about 30 minutes a day, and I'm like, I'm jonesing to play that game. But I think if you play too much of it, you'll get burnt out. And then I got Hot Shots Golf, which is now called Everybody's Golf here in America, which it was called that everywhere else since the beginning. And damn, that game is great.
I'm thinking I might pick that up.
Yeah, I played the beta for it, loved it, jumped in here. It's more of the same. It's fun, over the top golf. Like, it's silly. It's supposed to be. I'm wearing a fucking bear costume.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not like a bear shirt, like a furries, like a full on mascot bear.
Gotcha.
I look like a pedophile out there on the field, and it's great. And I can jump in a golf cart and do 90 miles an hour right across the tee when you're getting ready to swing. Like, the game is just out of control. It's so Japanese. It's so good. It's not even a full price game. There's a lot of microtransactions looming, but you don't have to spend money if you don't want to. I haven't spent any. I don't plan to spend any.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket League's the only game that's ever cracked the code on making me spend money. So I don't think I'll spend any money here either. But I really like it. I mean, it's great. I've been playing a lot with Howard.
Yeah, I'm thinking about picking it up. I've been on the fence, but the more I've seen about it, the more I'm like, you know what? This just looks like a good fun time.
Yeah, I know Matt picked it up. Haven't had a chance to play with him yet. But yeah, we've logged some hours. I probably already got 20 hours in that game.
It almost, to me, I guess you've played it. You can attest to it more. To me, it almost looks more like a social experience than it does an actual competitive style game.
So they have this social area that you go on for the multiplayer stuff, and if you took like 400 people and just dumped them on a golf course,
yeah,
that's what's happening. It's just people like riding around in carts, people running, people jumping, because everything's exaggerated. Like, the carts go like 50 miles an hour, you jump like 15 feet in the air, you run so fast that you leave like a trail of dust behind you. Like, everything is over the top, and it's just you'll be on the green getting ready to putt, and some dude will roll up in a bunny costume and just lay down. It doesn't affect your shot. Like, it'll roll through him, but you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? And it never takes itself serious, ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's there's a lot of text and stuff up front, just showing you, hey, this is what the game is all about. But once you get past all that bullshit, like, the game never takes itself serious. It's so over the top.
Yeah, I really do think I need to pick it up. It's only like $30 or something, right?
Yeah, 30 or 40.
Still
worth it.
Yeah. And
when you lay down on the ground, too, you lay down in like a sexy pose where you put like your hand behind your head.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I like to lay down in front of everybody. But it's just a good time. Like it's self-aware. It's silly. I don't know. It's Hot Shots.
Right.
If you've ever played Hot Shots. What's different is, used to you would play Hot Shots, you would pick a character and level your character up. Now you create a character and you're leveling your clubs up.
Oh.
More so than you are your person. You level up too, but the clubs are what matters. So if you switch clubs, you have to start leveling those clubs up all over again.
Gotcha.
Which is kind of neat. And I don't know. It's a great time. Cool. So I'm still playing that. I got to finish Uncharted. I'm a couple chapters outside of that. It's just there's too much.
So anyway, since we're discussing this, it's all funny how this is all tying into questions and shout outs this week.
Right.
Garrett's shout out this week that he sent in to us was, where has Uncle Gamestitch been? We just told you, Garrett. See how we did that?
You were doing family things and getting tossed out of bars.
I didn't get tossed.
I was balls deep in all the stuff I'm trying to play.
Yeah, Ryan is. Yeah, I had family stuff going on, so. And Ryan is just in the game abyss. He's kind of stuck in it.
I'm drowning in what I'm going to call 8s and 9s.
So but Fortnite, I definitely want to get into, or get back into, I should say. I've gotten a little bit away from it since all the family stuff's been going on for a week and a half. More importantly, I want to get into Life is Strange Before the Storm, which I thought I was going to get a chance to play on Tuesday when it came out, but it turns out I'm a fucking idiot and apparently can't read or can't process numbers, because it clearly says, and has said in the past, that it's coming out on August 31st. I guess my assumption was that the 31st was Tuesday. Because I was like, ooh, yeah, I had it all fucking pre-ordered. All right, it's going to pre-download. I get there on Thursday. I'm like, where the fuck is it?
On Tuesday, you mean?
On Tuesday. I go over to my library, and I'm like, well, there it is. I click on it, and it says 1 day and 4 hours or some bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? So I turn on, I go online, I check, yep, August 31st. I look at the calendar on my phone, yep, 29th. I see the problem.
Yeah, I obviously didn't see it either because I texted you on Tuesday and said, how is it?
Right.
And I could tell you were aggravated, so I left it alone. But it's a crazy time. And Knack 2 comes out next week.
Yeah.
Which I'm still going to get. I know that you've got mixed feelings about it because the multiplayer is not together.
I will probably still end up getting it at some point. I don't know if I'm getting it together because it doesn't have the online multiplayer.
Yeah, I looked at the pre-order bonus because I thought maybe gets Everybody's Golf had great pre-order bonus. In Knack, you get 6 avatars for pre-ordering it. 6 avatars, which combined might be worth 6 cents.
Oh, that might be pushing it.
I use a Rocket League one that was free.
Right. All I have is free ones that I can cycle through. That's
Sony. You're not bringing avatars
back.
Not like no one cares.
Or if they were ever here, you're not bringing them back. I don't even know they were ever here, to be honest.
You should have them. You should give us a way to stand out. But fuck that for a pre-order bonus. Yeah. I'll still pre-order it though because I need the discount from Amazon. But fuck that bonus. It's a shit bonus because Amazon you have to pre-order now. You can't buy them the week of anymore.
Right.
They're putting that shit on lockdown because I guess money was starting to get a little tight. They buy that Whole Foods and whatnot.
See, I'm still a little leery about the whole Amazon thing because it says a lot of times it'll say guaranteed delivery that day, but sometimes there's problems.
So I had the issue with Mario Kart, which I talked about before. Everything that has ever said same-day delivery besides Mario Kart has been same-day delivery.
Yeah,
So, I went to work on Tuesday, came home, opened the mailbox, I had Rabbids and had Everybody's Golf. Didn't have to go by the store, didn't have to do anything. Uncharted, not a day-and-date game. So Uncharted came the next day. So I got Uncharted on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, which is a little weird, but, I'm getting where I can wait a little better. I'm getting to where I don't have to have it that day if it means it's going to save me $5 or $6.
Yeah.
I'm maturing as a gamer, I feel like. It used to be like I had to be the first guy to have it.
Right.
Which makes no fucking sense at all.
You're right.
I'm getting now where I can kind of calm down a little bit with it. And, I get it when I get it.
Yeah.
I got too much to play right now anyways. But I'm going to pick Knack up, I think, same day because I'm still a little bit of an idiot. And Knack's one of those games like I'm afraid.
I like the first one.
Yeah, me too.
I did.
And I think a lot of people like the first Knack, even if no one talks about it. A lot of jokes about Knack, but I think people enjoyed it. And I think it's a game you're going to see sell pretty well and maybe sort of hard to find.
And I think you're going to see Knack. I think it's going to be very noticeable that it's better than the first Knack, because I think it's very obvious in the first Knack that it was a glorified tech demo that got sold as a game. That's the way I felt playing Knack. I still loved it. I still had fun with it. But
I think this shit's going to be exactly the same.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's just more Knack with two people.
Maybe if you have another person to play, sit on your fucking couch.
I mean, it's fine. Like I'll take more Knack.
More Knack is fine. First player.
Yes, please. Right.
Yeah, I finished it. It's one of the.
Yeah. Me too.
I got all the way through it.
The game gets gangster as fuck at the end too. It's good. I enjoyed it. When you're fucking like Big Knack.
Yeah, Big Knack is great.
Like Big Knack. Yeah.
I like when you're Little Knack and you talk like Big Knack. Yeah. And you got that really deep, throaty Barry White voice.
Yeah, Knack's got an awesome voice.
That's the best.
That game's okay. People shit on that game, but they shouldn't. It's all right. If you play that game, it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So Knack 2, I think, is going to be all right too. Plus, so far they're 2 for 2 on these cheap games for me. These cheaper games, Uncharted, Home Run, Everybody's Golf, Home Run. They're doing big things for me. I've got Mario Odyssey still to come. I've got Gran Turismo Sport still to come, and I got the Inpatient still to come. Probably going to buy Friday the 13th since I put my money where my mouth is on that. I don't know if that game's going to be fantastic, but thank God they finally understood how to release a game. The Inpatient fucked it up again. It's coming out in November.
Yeah.
The prequel to Until Dawn coming out in November. Fucked it up the first time, had a chance to make it right this time. Nope. November's a great time for a scary game because people love being scared the month after everyone does.
Right around Thanksgiving.
Right, you assholes. It's about family time in Turkey. Get your shit together.
Yeah, I want to get back into Friday the 13th as well.
Just wait for that shit. Wait, I'll get it. We'll start it together.
Okay. I've played it, but not much. But yeah, I think you're going to see a whole new community come on once it comes out in October too, so that'll be nice.
Yeah. For October, Friday the 13th.
I know.
Thank goodness that someone understood. You think there was one guy that at that studio that was like, guys, we got to wait. And he finally just won. Like, he finally just won the argument.
I don't know. I think they got their best of both worlds. They got it released early, and now they get to release it on October, Friday the 13th.
They should have waited. They should have released it the 13th with a physical and a digital copy and single player. It wouldn't have been broken. Maybe. It would have been more of a complete game, and it would have came out at the perfect time. People having Halloween parties, playing it together, everybody screaming, yelling, good time. No, let's do it around March. People love being frightened around March.
Around St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. No, everybody loves a good St. Patty's Day fright. Assholes. All of them. If this is your first time joining us, this is the official Gamestitch Podcast. Each week we get together, we talk about all the video game and nerdy things that we love. We wrap it up in the dumpster fire that was the last, 30 minutes of this show. You're welcome. If you love that, if you can't get enough of that, if this is what makes your week, head over to patreon.com. Toss a couple bones on there. Support the show. Help us grow. Help us do new things like the streams and all this nonsense. If you can't do that, that's cool too. This show will always be free. Our streams are free. We try to make a lot of free content. We do plan on doing some Patreon exclusive things, but right now we're just making as much content as we can for everybody. So patreon.com/GameStitch if you're interested in that. If not, tell your friends about us. That is the easiest and cheapest way for you to support this podcast. Just tell other people. Drive down the street with the window down in the car and scream. Tune into the official Gamestitch Podcast Monday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on podcast services around the world. Now, I need to address something.
Okay.
Playing some games with Thomas this week.
Okay.
We weren't playing together because I'm balls deep in the stuff I'm trying to do. He was playing something else. I was playing Hot Shots, a.k.a. Everybody's Golf. And he says, hey, what the fuck is going on with this podcast? He is way less aggressive about it than I just made him. Way less aggressive. He says, I listen on iHeart, and it's not coming out Monday at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time anymore. What's going on? So I do some poking around. I do some emailing.
Some research.
Some research. I actually quit playing right then to go do it, too. So that should tell you something about how upset I was to find this out. He said the last 2 episodes have been this way. So it appears, Thomas hasn't even heard this answer yet. This is going to be fresh for him, too. After hearing back, reading, doing some Googling, it appears that since the last update, the automatic share feature for iHeart is not active anymore. I don't know if you have to pay for that tier. They didn't get back to me. I read an article somewhere that someone else had written where they did get back to them, telling them that the automatic share feature wasn't working. Only works for Facebook right now. So it's connected. It's supposed to automatic upload. It's not. It means we have to do it manually. But because of the way Spreaker, which is a site that uploads it to iHeart, works, you can't do it till the day after. So now that we know, I will make sure that it goes up the day after, but that means it's going to go up on Tuesday.
On a Tuesday rather than Monday.
So I got an alarm set on my phone to let me know Tuesday morning. So I would say by lunchtime Tuesday, you're going to have it everywhere. Sorry about the delay. There's nothing we can do about that until the automatic sharing starts working again. But there are plenty of other ways that you could get it. And I might even get it up Monday sometimes too. Once it's on Spreaker, I can automatic share it. So I'll try to do it on Mondays at the latest. I think Tuesday by noon you'll have it. Okay. But you can get it on iTunes right then that day. If Stitcher's working properly, you can get it there. You can actually get it on SoundCloud. No problem Monday morning. You should be able to get it places. Even a lot of the third-party apps have it Monday morning.
There's plenty of places to find it Monday morning. It's 6 Central, 7 Eastern.
So we apologize for that. I actually didn't know that till he told us. So I will manually upload that until they get the automatic share going again.
All right.
It'll just be a little delay on that.
Good to know.
We do apologize.
And Thomas, thank you for bringing that to our attention, because we obviously don't listen on Spreaker or iHeart, so we would not have known that without your diligence.
So Spreaker gets it on time. It's just iHeart. It's just weird. It's a weird thing that's happening. And anybody else listening out there, if there's something, this podcast always goes up at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Always. It's not late. It hasn't been late since like in the 80s.
It's probably not been that long. Oh, you mean like episode 80s?
Episode 80. Yeah.
I thought you meant like in the 1980s.
We weren't doing it.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, since like episodes 80s and stuff. People have been listening for a long time. They know what happened there.
Yeah.
It hasn't been late since then. So if you're ever on something, you're like, where the fuck is the pod? It's there. It's just not on the platform you're listening. Mm-hmm. Most of what happens is all behind the curtain for even us, because these apps, they grab it from the public RSS that's there. So we don't actually control some of these, offshoots, podcast apps, things like that. There's a few that are manual. iTunes is something that we upload. SoundCloud is something that we upload. And then I manually do the YouTube. Apparently now I manually do iHeart, and I manually do Patreon. So all of those are manually, and they have to wait for it to post before I can do so. Everything else is automatic. So if you're ever anywhere and you're like, oh, it's not on Google Play Music, that ain't us. They got the feed.
Somebody else's fault.
Right. That's another one that we had to submit to, but it's automatic. Like, they pull it. We don't do anything there. So if you get there, it's not there, don't panic. Just check another source, because it exists out there, I assure you. If we're ever late posting the podcast, it'll be on our Twitter. If we're ever late. And I don't see that happen. It hadn't happened in a very, very long time.
Right.
So.
Because we do our...
Thanks.
Because we look out for you. We care for you.
But let us know. I mean, if the thing you listen to is having trouble, let us know, and we'll try to get with those people.
And figure it out,
yeah.
But if we don't know, we don't know, we can't move forward.
Bingo. Let's jump into the news. This is going to be relatively rapid fire. Mm-hmm. So this first story is old. I didn't talk about it last week because I got distracted by all the Xbox One X news. But I wanted to mention it on here. Sea of Thieves will be cross-play between Xbox One and PC. This was announced during Gamescom, so it is roughly like 10 days old. Mm-hmm. But it's something I read, meant to talk about, totally forgot. But this is cool. It's going to make sure that there's an install base. They actually had a story coming up saying that they are working on the minimum requirements so that they can lock this thing down so it runs smoothly on both of them.
Right.
And they have this game running at 30 frames a second, or 15 frames a second at 520. And it's running well.
Yes.
So it's going to be super stable.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not going to be the minimum, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it runs good.
Right.
It runs well. This thing is going to be okay. And I'm excited.
Now we just
more
need,
people
now
playing,
we just
the
need
better.
it to come out.
Yeah, it does need to come out. That's really important. Still no date on that bitch.
Nope. Need one.
Yep.
All right. Next story, we've got Xbox One and Xbox 360 games with gold were announced, and they are available now. Well, most
Hold
of
on,
them.
before you start, I want to say something about this list.
Okay.
I read this list and I was like, God damn, good list.
This is a Xbox. Microsoft is taking care of some motherfuckers this month.
But then I was like, there's no way Sony's can even touch this. But then Sony's list came out and I was like, well, goddamn, that's a good list too.
It is a good list. I do think Microsoft's is better.
So I disagree, but we're going to go through all these. Okay. I just want to let you know that it's not a bad time to subscribe to either of these.
No, they're both good lists, but I give Microsoft the advantage this month. Keep in mind, they still do their thing, of course, where it's from certain times. So for the Xbox One, we have Trials Fusion from August 16th through September 15th. So that's actually free now with games with gold. This is the winner.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Forza Motorsport 5 Game of the Year Edition is free from September 1st to the 30th. And Oxenfree is going to be free for the Xbox One from September 16th to October 15th. And I've spoken about Oxenfree. I've played Oxenfree, and it's good. It's real good. For the Xbox 360, we've got Hydro Thunder Hurricane from September 1st to the 15th. And from September 16th to the 30th, we have Battlefield 3. So that's
good
your
list.
Microsoft games with gold.
It's a good list. I love Forza 5.
I haven't played it. I've wanted to. I like the Horizon games, or the Forza games.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to get this downloaded and start playing it.
Or Forza.
It's not Forza.
Forza.
It's not Forza.
Trials Fusion is fun too. September's 2017's PlayStation Plus free game. So let's look at the Sony side. Like, again, I told you this is a pretty good lineup.
This is a good list too.
Infamous Second Son. Fucking incredible game.
It is.
Strike Vector EX for PS4. Then for PS Vita, these are all cross-play on the or cross-buy on the PS4, which means you can play them on the PS4. We have We Are Doomed and Hatoful Boyfriend. Hatoful Boyfriend is where, like, that pigeon love game.
Yes.
Which I'm pretty excited about getting into. I think I'm going to play it on the Vita, but I'm kind of excited about it. And then on PS3, maybe the best PS3 list I've ever seen.
Good Lord. I know, right?
You get Truck Racer, which sounds generic and awesome, and fucking Handball 2016.
Not to be confused with Rugby 2016.
Such a great PS3 lineup, but getting Infamous, Strike Vector, We Are Doomed, Hatoful Boyfriends. You're getting 4 PS4 games.
But wait, there's more.
Sony's not done, right? They went all infomercial on us. A bonus PSVR owners. PlayStation Plus members in the U.S. and Canada are also going to get Riggs Mechanized Combat League as a free bonus game from September 5th all the way through November 7th. Those that don't know, Riggs is a first-person arena-based shooter exclusively for PSVR.
Yes.
Bam. Hold on to this transition. PSVR's got new bundles available. Bam. You see what I did there?
Woohoo!
Right into it. Sony's launching a new bundle that includes the PSVR headset and PlayStation camera for $399 US. This essentially gives you the PlayStation camera at no extra charge. And this will be the core PSVR bundle. So the PSVR bundle that's out now, that's headset only, that's going away.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be one of those whiny bitches. It's like, oh, we already have a camera. Well, you should have bought it before now. Now you got 2 cameras. Give one to a friend. Don't be an asshole.
Quit being a bitch.
Right. On top of that, the PSVR World's PSVR bundle, whatever that thing's called, their mega bundle.
Yes, that's like the headset, camera, move controllers, and VR Worlds, right?
Right. It's going to be available at a new lower price, $449 US. So you can get started with an all-in-one PSVR package at an even greater value. If you can't tell, this is taken straight from the PlayStation blog.
I can tell.
That's why they're so fucking excited about this deal.
I can tell. It is a good deal.
Yep. So both bundles will begin arriving at retailers time of this recording.
Yep, it should be there. It should be in stock.
They also make a note here. It's a great time to jump into the PSVR experience because there's now over 100 titles available. I keep hearing that's the weird argument I hear from everybody. They're like, when are they going to come out with some games? Every fucking Tuesday is when they come out with some games for VR.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, are people expecting AAA style titles for PSVR, and that's not what PSVR is.
People, and they need to understand, like, when something comes out, like Gran Turismo Sport's going to come out, that's going to be billed as a regular game and has VR support. Like, they're not going to market it as a VR game because they need everybody to buy it. There's still probably only about 1.5 million units out there.
It goes back to what we've talked about a number of times. People just do not do their research on these things. So they start spouting off opinions based on false information. And we've seen it happen time and time again in gaming. Because there is a lot to research in gaming to know exactly what you're getting, know exactly what you're getting versus what you want, versus what you heard something was, versus what you thought something was. You've got to look into these things and determine what's best for you. No one else can. That's how you get your information.
Just please do me a favor and don't be that guy that says there's no games for VR. Don't be that guy.
There's games for VR I want to play.
If you're listening right now and you're like, I've said that, it's okay. Just stop. Stop saying that. There are plenty of games. Do some fucking research. It's okay to say there's nothing you want to play. It's not okay to say there's no games. There's so many games.
Right.
I have like 20 games that are on the shelf right now that I need to play.
There is a difference between there's no games and there's nothing that interests me. There's a huge difference between those.
And it's totally acceptable for you to say there's nothing that I want to play on VR. Or I'm waiting for the game that makes me want to buy VR. Those are both fine.
Yeah.
It's not fine to say there's no games. There's like 5 games? Come on. Come on. Click on the fucking VR button and scroll through that shit if you want. There's a lot.
I will knock you the fuck out.
This is good. I think this is good. I think they need to continue giving away free games for VR. Mm-hmm. Even if they do it like they're doing it now, where they just added it on. They didn't take away anything. They just added it on.
Right.
Vita support has got to stop at some point.
Yes.
Just has to. They're not making Vita games anymore. Like, it's got to stop. They got to stop giving away Vita games. You know, if you notice, pretty much everything they give away is cross-buys because it's hard to fucking find Vita games right now.
Right.
They need to stop. They need to insert a VR game right there.
They get rid of the 2 Vita titles and put in 1 VR game in replacement.
Yep. Do 2 PS3, 2 PS4, and a VR game.
Yep. I agree with that.
Build everyone's library up. You just dropped the price. You included a camera. Smart. Eventually, what you got to do, Sony, is you got to drop that high bundle, and you got to make that the core. And you got to keep the price it's at now.
Yeah.
You got to make this bitch cheap. You got to put it in people's hands. I think I talked about it on the podcast, our friend Pat, man, that we play with a lot, he picked up one.
Yes.
He got home with it, started playing. He texted me, "This is incredible." Like, yep, that's pretty much the experience I think most people will have. But you're not going to play it every day. Like, you've got to know that going in. Like, it's not something you're like, this is going to change gaming forever for me. Like, it's very much like sometimes I want to play VR, sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. Matt just picked one up, and he's going to play VR some. He's going to not play VR some. He may not know that yet. That's just how it works.
Right.
But I look forward to more people having this and me being able to do it. Like, when Rigs comes out and everybody gets it for free, I'm pumped. I want to get in there with some people I know and fucking shoot some robots. Some mechs.
That sounds like a good time. I'm still not getting to VR yet, though.
That's the thing. You do it when it's ready for you. You don't have to get it now. There's plenty of games. You don't have to get it now. It's going to get cheaper. It should get cheaper. People who, if you're on the fence and you have the money, though, go ahead and buy it. Like, if you want it, it's good.
Well, yeah, I say that about everything. If you're not sure if you want it, but you can afford it, buy it.
Yeah. I mean, well, even if you're like, I want it, I just don't know. Like, it's good. It's probably, they're updating it too. The last update that we talked about on here that Sony just had, it was they added 7.1 and 5.1 surround sound to it. Like, they're not done with VR, not by a long shot.
Not at
But
all.
developers are going to slow down if people aren't buying games.
Yes.
Luckily, I'm an idiot and just keep buying things.
Well, there you go. So, you alone can save VR.
That'd be a good shirt. You alone can save PSVR. I'll tell you what, this is a great story too.
Sony doing some shit.
PS4 is getting some PS1 inspired translucent controllers, and damn, they look nice.
They do look good.
So for those that don't know, here's a peek behind the scenes too. I send the news out. It's usually just all text. That's all it is, just a bunch of text. Maybe there's some links in there. I put a picture in for these.
You did.
And I knew that you'd already seen them.
I had already seen them.
But I was like, damn. This picture I found looks good.
It does.
Also, I have a question.
Sure.
And I'm sure someone out there can answer. And don't be like, how do you not know this? I don't want to do any research, okay? That's why I'm asking on this podcast, because I don't want to do the research. This picture I've included, it shows the translucent controllers, white in the middle, blue on the left, red on the right. So let's talk about the red side. It goes clear, red, Destiny controller.
That's what it looks like.
What the fuck is that blue controller?
I don't know. It does have...
Does it look like an NHL logo on it?
Almost. I don't think it is, though.
So I don't know what that blue controller is. If someone can find this picture, clear on front, right on red, Destiny controller. There's a blue one that has like a badge on the right hand holding portion, whatever that's called. Silver behind that, camo behind that. But that blue one, I'm like, what is that controller?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I've seen all these other controllers. I don't think I've ever seen the blue controller. And I could Google it, but it's more fun if you guys play detective. But anyways, these new controllers, translucent controllers, they're badass. I want them all. I'm not going to buy them all because they're expensive. But they are also exclusive, which is stupid. Mm-hmm. The crystal one is exclusive to GameStop. That would be the clear one. The red crystal one is exclusive to Best Buy. Big fail on Best Buy's part, not getting the blue one. And the blue crystal is available exclusively at Walmart.
And that's why Best Buy didn't get it.
That's right. You want the blue one to have more money, Best Buy. Why Target doesn't have the red one, I don't know. Guess GameStop had more money than Target. Target didn't get one at all.
I don't feel like that's true. I feel like Target maybe don't give a fuck.
Maybe Target had the exclusive red one for PS3.
Right.
You think they'd want to stay on board with that? But what a big loss for Best Buy. Not scoring, not landing the blue.
Not landing the blue, yeah.
Walmart's like, how much do you want to spend? Because we'll spend more.
Right.
You could just stop now. We're going to get it.
It's crazy.
Everyday low savings. Is that what everyday savings?
Everyday savings?
Yeah.
Everyday low prices. That's what it is. Everyday low price.
Yeah.
This next one's a big deal for me. Probably not for Ryan too much.
Those come out sometime mid-October. We only have a European date, which is October 17th. I assume it's the same date for U.S., but I don't know for sure. But God knows GameStop will pre-order theirs.
Oh, yeah. You'll be able to pre-order it.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
No doubt. Big news. Bigger news for me than Ryan. This is a game I loved and I would like to get back into. I've gotten away from. I really do need to get back into it. The Division's next free update includes 2 new modes and a new area. This is going to be update 1.8. It's going to have 2 new modes, a new area, and a social space. It's going to have a co-op mode called Resistance, which is going to be a horde-like mode in which 4 players team up against increasingly difficult enemies. What is unique is that the enemy factions, for the first time in the game, team up to try to defeat you. So you'll be taking on all the different types of factions that are in the Division game. Secondly, in a PvP mode, we have Skirmish, which is essentially team deathmatch. You compete for the greatest number of kills before time expires, and you get points for fully eliminating players, whatever that means. So injuries don't count. If you just down somebody, I guess I'm assuming you have to kill them completely. And the biggest news out of this is that they're opening up a new area in the Division's version of New York City. They're opening up the West Side Pier.
West Side? I just want to add something to this story.
West Side?
West
Really?
Side? Yeah. Back to this story.
It's going to be an expansion on the existing map. Basically, you're tasked with investigating the area to confirm that factions are indeed forging alliances and determine the reason of why they're doing this in this location all of a sudden. So that's kind of neat. It ties into that horde mode a little bit. Why are the factions getting together and creating their own giant gang? All these new modes are going to take place in the West Side Pier. And it's also going to add Camp Clinton social space. It's just going to be like all the other ones. If you're familiar with it, you know the social spaces. That's where you go to team up, get certain missions, buy gear, blah, blah, blah. It's also going to feature some significant tweaks, overhauls, and balance changes. Apparently what they say here, some of these notes are just that rogue mechanics are being revamped, the Underground DLC is getting some changes, and the gear system is going to be optimized. Within the next few weeks, Ubisoft's going to talk a little more about this. So if you're interested, keep an eye on that. I'm interested. I've been looking for some more single-player content. It sounds like that's what the West Side Pier is going to be. So,
can this get you back into the Division? You talked about the Division for 57 episodes of the podcast.
I know, and I still agree that I loved every minute I played of it. Other things came out and I got away from it because it did get very, very grindy.
But is it done for you? Like, can anything pull you back?
I want to try this West Side Pier. I want to try this single-player mission. I do. I've been looking since it came out. I've talked about it a number of times. I wanted more of the lore stuff. I wanted more of the story stuff. I did have a really good time. As far as MMO-style games go, this is probably the one I've spent the most time on ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not a bad thing. But then as other things came out that offered me new experiences, I kind of got away from the Division because it was the same old grindy. But I am looking forward to the single-player stuff, and I do want to try this. And the Horde mode sounds like a lot of fun, too.
It's coming out in the next few weeks, sometime in the fall. Is that right?
Well, they're going to be talking more about when. They haven't told us when it's coming out. They're going to be talking about it more in the next few weeks.
They need to get this shit out. They wait too long.
Yeah. It'll be
Everybody's
2 years in February.
Yeah. Next story, Dead Rising 4 coming to PS4 with a new game mode. Capcom has finally announced that Dead Rising 4 will be available on PS4 December 5th. Remember, it launched last year on Xbox One in December. This version is called Dead Rising 4 Frank's Big Package, which is a fantastic name.
It is, but it makes no sense in the context of the game.
Well, the game it's the game and the additional DLC, so that's why it's a big package.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah,
it also includes it also includes a new game mode called Capcom Heroes, which will also be available same time for PC and Xbox One players. So this is cool for anyone waiting to play Dead Rising. Not much to say there. Next story, Nintendo loses the Wii Remote. We like to call them the Wiimote.
The Wiimote.
Patent lawsuit. They're ordered to pay out $10 million to iLife, a tech company based out of Texas. There's not much to this story other than they say that they own something to do with the remote and falling down and it tracking you. And I don't think they ever implemented the technology in anything that they made.
But they did patent the technology itself.
I could give you all the legal speak in the press release, but let's just say Nintendo not happy with this verdict and plans to appeal it. So it's not as if they're cutting a $10 million check to iLife anytime soon.
Right.
Or maybe ever. Next story, I put this one on here for Dan.
No, you did fucking not. You put it on there for you. Stop telling stories.
Amiibo characters coming for Shovel Knight. A game I loved. A game that I want to get back to because I didn't play the DLC for it or the expansions. And I love Amiibo, so this is all good. Yacht Club Games has revealed several new Amiibo figures. You're getting Spectre Knight, King Knight, and Plague Knight. And they look awesome. Especially if you already have the Shovel Knight one. Put all those bitches on a shelf together. Damn. So aside from looking super sexy on the shelf, they also serve a purpose in the 3DS, the Wii U versions, and the Switch versions. By scanning the figure, the character gains a new exclusive set of armor that are purely cosmetic and can be mixed and matched with armor effects from the existing sets. Very cool. Those look awesome. I know you're not an Amiibo guy. You're not I still have hope that you're going to be an Amiibo guy when you get a Switch, though.
I won't be.
Well, you're going to fuck up and buy one. You're going to be like, oh, these do all kinds of stuff. You're going to fuck up and buy another one. Next thing you know, shelf. Boom. Full.
Probably not. Maybe. I can't honestly say no because actually that's right up my style. Right up my alley.
I was playing something with Thomas the other night, or that same night when he was on, and he was like, I got 30-something Amiibos. I'm like, what? I didn't know you had Amiibo. I love that. I love people just closet Amiibo buyers. I've been opening them. I opened Dr. Mario the other day.
Thomas Ryan loves you.
Yeah, I opened Dr. Mario because I realized I didn't have an open Mario, and Mario plus Rabbids has Amiibo support. I'm like, got to see what I get here. I could Google it, but I like the surprise. So what I did do is go on Amazon and say which one of these fuckers is not worth anything. Turns out some of the original Mario is still selling pretty high. So I opened Dr. Mario, who sells for half of what I paid for him new. You can get a new one for like $6 free shipping. I ripped that bitch open, put it on there, and I got a gun that wasn't as good as what I was using. So turned out it was for nothing, but damn, it felt good to set it on there and let it pop and have that happen.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's how they get you. The cool thing about Amiibo, though, is it works with like 20 games.
Right.
Like each one does. So like I can jump and use that Mario in like everything that I play. They people are like, oh, $20 to $15 for DLC is expensive. Yeah, it's like 20 DLC packs though.
Right.
So it's really not, because they keep adding more and more games that support all the characters.
Exactly.
Next and dumbest story on this podcast.
Oh, there's some good prizes here though.
There are some good prizes, but this is some gross cross promotion.
I'm not sure I understand it, other than they both have cool symbols, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. If you drink Monster energy drinks, there's a chance you could win some Assassin's Creed Origin paraphernalia propaganda. Dan's got one in front of him now because he hates his kidneys. Ubisoft has announced a partnership with Monster Energy around the Assassin's Creed Origins to get DLC when they buy one of the energy drinks. More than 500 million Monster Energy drinks cans globally will carry the Assassin's Creed Origin branding. They're showing up in stores now. This is Ubisoft's largest retail promotion partnership ever. You buy a drink, you head over to Assassin's Creed MonsterEnergy.com. You enter a code. You can win some sweet-ass DLC, including in-game stuff and out-of-game stuff. Now, there's some weapons here. I'm not going to read them.
They got cool fucking names, though.
That last one.
The last.
It's called the Rainbow.
And see, I like the Face Breaker.
The Rainbow might be the best name for a bow ever.
I looked
at the pictures of it. It's just a fucking bow. But I love that it's called the Rainbow.
What about the Dust Biter sword?
That's one of those where it's got like the points on each end up top.
Yeah.
I forget what the proper name of those are. If you're extremely lucky, you could be one of the first prize winners, which gets a Assassin's Creed Origins Xbox One S bundle. Only 100 of these are available. I can't tell that it's an unlimited console. It looks like it's just a regular console and a copy of the game. I haven't seen an exclusive console.
I haven't either, but it's still a good prize to win for buying a monster.
And if you're impossibly lucky, you could win the grand prize, which is an all-expense paid trip for 2 to Ubisoft Studios in Montreal for a tour. Only 6 of those are available. So the odds are extremely unlikely, but they're totally unlikely if you don't drink a monster.
That's true.
And I think that's their plan here.
So if you're a Red Bull guy, fuck off. That's what Ubisoft's
wings,
saying to
but
you.
It won't give you a trip to Montreal.
That's right. Actually, what's fucked up is I'm only like 6 hours from Montreal.
Yeah, you should give it to me. I'm farther away.
I would know. I would go anyway.
You should, yeah.
It's weird. I'm like 6 hours from New York City, 2 hours from Toronto, 6 hours from Montreal. I really should go to these places more.
You should. You should be a world traveler.
I don't know if that's the world. But.
It's world. It's all the world. That's all we got for news. I know we went through those last ones pretty quickly, but it's mostly because there's not much to say.
There's not much to say, and I have brunch, don't forget.
Yeah, he does have brunch. But just to wrap it up, new Amiibos, kill your kidneys, and Nintendo got sued. And lost. Now it's time for our newest / favorite / the one we brought back segment, Gone But Not Forgotten, where we reach back in our gaming past, we pull out an old beauty for you, we force read it down your ear holes, and we tell you to check it out. This time it's Dan's turn.
It's my turn, and I'm going with a very, very old legacy game. There's a reason it's a legacy. I am going with Atari Incorporated's Combat.
Have you done this before?
Combat?
Yeah.
No.
Have you verified that you didn't do it before?
No.
I think you've done it before. Go ahead.
Really?
I feel like you've done it before.
Why don't you look it up? No, I didn't look it up.
Just do it again, though.
No, the reason because it's a legacy game is because for many Atari owners, it's the first game they ever played on the Atari. It came bundled with the Atari 2600. It was actually the first game console bundle ever released, And as we know now, it kicked off a legacy of this. That's why I consider it a legacy game. It definitely does not hold up. It definitely didn't hold up at the time. It was not a great game. It was very slow. You play as either tanks, planes, or jets, and you shoot each other. It was a 2-player game. And basically, like I said, it was the game that came... Ataris were expensive at the time. I mean, I think if they were priced the same now, I think it'd be like $700 for an Atari. They were like $200 in 1982 when this bundle first started. And so you got the game with it. For a lot of kids, it was the first game they played, and for a long time, it was the only game they played. And they played it did have multiplayer, so they played it. You could play it against somebody. And for that reason, and that reason alone, is because of what it kicked off with the bundle aspect of things, consoles coming with a game, and the fact that for so many people, it was the first game they played on the Atari. And for some, it may have been the only game they played for a very long time. My pick this week is Atari Incorporated's Combat.
No, you didn't do Combat. You did Kangaroo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think I did Combat.
I thought you had.
I think
Combat's so forgettable that it's hard to remember.
I think I've talked about Combat on here before.
I'll just save you guys some time, though. This shit does not hold up.
No, I already said it didn't hold up. It doesn't.
I wasn't listening. I was looking at this list. You picked some shitty games in the past.
But it kicked.
Scrolling through that list, I was like, damn.
That's what Gone But Not Forgotten is supposed to be.
I'd say your shit's definitely gone and maybe forgotten by everyone but you, though.
That's the only... Come on. We know me. I'm the only guy I give a fuck about.
Dark Watch is on that list.
Oh, Dark Watch was fucking good. Fuck you.
Alpha Protocol's on that list.
Oh, we're not going there. As a matter of fact, I might talk about Alpha Protocol again on purpose. Because
Great.
it deserves it.
Great. Be sure to follow us on social media. Let us know what your Gone But Not Forgotten is using the hashtag GBNF. You can find us at game_stitch. You can find me at Podcast Ryan. You can find Dan at Shirtless Dan. And you should do so. You should definitely follow at game_stitch and probably Dan. If you don't follow me, I won't take it personal. I don't use my Twitter.
It's true, you don't.
So there's that. Make sure you head over to YouTube. Type in Gamestitch. Find us on there. Subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you click that little alarm-looking thing, that little bell, so that you know whenever we go live. It'll send you a little email, a little reminder.
Well,
so if you miss it on our Twitter,
and turn notifications on. Otherwise, the bell won't do you any good.
You get a little alert. It's like, oh shit, they're doing something. You're like, oh shit, they're doing something. Jump on, you watch us do something, and we're gonna be doing something. So
rolling.
Yep, follow us on there. It's time for our shout-outs. Remember, you can give a shout-out if you head over to patreon.com/GameStitch and pledge at least $10. We'll read whatever you write. If you don't write anything, then we'll make up something for you.
Well, we already covered Garrett's shout-out.
Okay.
That was
shout-out for Garrett.
That was about where his Uncle Gamestitch been.
Also, real quick, we're going to make a public plea. You're trying to name his child?
Yes.
And what's the name?
I think the name should be Daniel Ryan Wade.
Right. So I agree. Not happy about second, but it does ring better that way.
It does.
I think DRW is a good name for the kid.
It is.
If it's a girl, it's going to be a little weird.
I think it could be Danielle Ryan. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not bad either. I have a cousin named Danielle, and it's fine. I understand different last name and has nothing to do with you, but it's fine. I think you should consider it if it's a boy, though. I think Daniel Ryan's a good, strong name.
I think it rolls, and it rolls really good off the tongue.
Yeah. So the initials don't steal anything stupid.
No, like gunshot wound, like Ryan fucking wanted originally.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think Uncle Gamestitch has brought us to a creepy level that I really appreciate. I hope you know that, Garrett. Yes. I really appreciate that. I like it.
I do.
It's creepy in the best way.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I really like that. So let us know what you think about the name. And I'm sure you guys are going to need to talk about it. But just get back to us on that.
Right. Yeah, you probably better have a conversation. Probably should have a conversation.
Right. Now it's time for Thomas's shout-out. Do we have a shout-out for Thomas?
Thomas did not have a shout-out, but he'd have a question.
Okay, so we're going to make his question the shout-out.
Okay, that's what I was just about to ask.
Okay.
Thomas asks us, what game do you and your significant other enjoy playing together the most? My wife and I prefer Minecraft at the moment. But first of all, I'll tell you, I'll tell you, Thomas, that's a solid pick. Minecraft is a lot of fun with two people who enjoy it. Now, since I don't enjoy it, I never had fun playing it with other people, but it's a very solid pick if you both enjoy it because there's simplicity to it.
You're not relying on each other.
Right. There's very much a simplicity to it.
So we talked about it. Dan and I talked about this question.
We did.
We don't always discuss. But we thought, wouldn't it be more fun if we were each other's significant other in this question?
Yes.
And so what do we look for when we're going to play a game together? And I think it's the same thing you would look at with a significant other, with a spouse.
I do too, yes.
You have to think about the person you're going to play with.
Yeah, that's what it always comes down to. If it's not a person that you are able to get along with on a personal level, it's probably not someone you're going to have fun playing with in video games.
Yeah, so you think about the things, what kind of games does Dan like to play?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of games do I like to play? What kind of games are going to tear our friendship apart?
Right.
So we can stay away from those.
I don't think anything has ever even come close to that, though, has it?
But we've tried to play some things that just didn't work.
That's okay.
You're going to have some swing and some misses, I think. And I think the most important part of playing a game with anyone is don't force it.
Right.
If it's not working, fucking stop.
And there's on the flip side of that as well. I think sometimes, and Ryan and I have both done this, sometimes in marriages, sometimes compromise is in order.
Yes.
So sometimes you will at least give something a try that you wouldn't normally like. You may talk shit about it afterwards, but the important thing is that you tried something that was outside your wheelhouse to try to, for lack of a better word, please your significant other. Ryan tried The Division. Fucking hated it. I tried Deformers. Fucking hated it. I went out and bought Transformers. Fucking hated it.
Deformers.
Did I say Transformers?
Yeah.
Because it's a much better game. But
so those, don't force it. If one of you doesn't like the thing, stop. You're not going to just start liking it.
Right.
Just stop. Think about the person you're playing with and how much experience they have.
Yeah.
Like if they're not somebody that plays games a lot, don't jump into something deep. Don't be an asshole.
Right. Yeah.
That's why Minecraft is such a good pick, because you don't take someone who's never played a game and say, let's do the horde mode in Uncharted. That'll be fun for everyone. They're going to get shot in the face a bunch and hate you.
Let's go play Team Deathmatch.
Right. So be mindful of the person you're playing with. I think Rocket League is something, if you're both starting at the same time, you play exhibitions, it could work. Don't jump into online play. They're going to get destroyed. It's not going to be fun for them.
I actually think if it's someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with games, I actually think Fortnite is an excellent choice.
So I was going to say that too. I think Fortnite is a good one to jump in and play together with. I think any of the Lego games are awesome to play with other people with, because I think they're pretty simple. So any of the Marvel Lego Worlds, any Lego game, if you want to spend a fortune, Lego Dimensions, Harry Potter, all of those, I think they're great to play with somebody. Anything like that. I actually think games like Until Dawn, where you can sit on the couch together
and watch,
and go right, go left, go here, you fucking died. I think those things are fun.
Yep.
Things like that. But just be mindful of the person you're playing with. There are so many good games out there that you can play together, but make sure it's a good fit. If the glove don't fit,
you must have quit.
You must have quit. So you must have quit if you're trying to play a game that you aren't having fun with. Remember, if you want to shout out or your question read or whatever, send us an email, send us a tweet. Your shout out, you do have to subscribe at the $10 tier over on patreon.com. Questions, you don't have to do anything. Just email them or tweet them. Our email is at, what the fuck's the email? Podcast@Gamestitch.com. Try that.
That's it.
If that doesn't work, go on Twitter, search for @game_stitch, and use the hashtag GSPQ. Gamestitch Podcast question. Yeah. Podcast at Gamestitch.com. That is the email.
That is.
I'm just jonesing. I'm having a stroke right now. That's going to do it for us. This has been episode 242 of the official Gamestitch Podcast, 242. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back same time, same place next week.